Hi folks, here we are at Merk Manor in Buckinghamshire, and you can see I am 99.9% through the build for Fulgrim, which will hopefully please some of you out there who have been requesting that to happen, so we can get onto the painting side of things in that long Merk's Minutes process. So you'll see that I have here, I'm going to try and just zoom me out a little bit. Look at the lovely mess, creative mess. My wife hates this. So we've got the body, a sneaky body. I've got to say, really good. I don't know whether you can see this. There's lots of joins, and to be fair, most of them are pretty good. This one though, oh dear Lord, look at that. So the model, I'm going to zoom into that, is a really high quality overall. However, I know it's gone a bit pixel there. Look at that join. So when you're building this, you might, like I've done, I use a lot of Tamiya extra thin glue, and I use that a lot for kind of melting sections and moving it in place. And then normally what I do is go in afterwards with the hobby knife and scrape things down. I shall be doing that here, okay? However, interestingly, when you view the model, now bear this in mind, this is a Primark, so it's a centerpiece model. When you view the model from the front, it's maybe much less obvious, but I will go through. However, I didn't want to keep this fairly short, already a minute and a half in. So that is the some of the subsections, or one of the subsections. So I'm building this in subsections, and I'm magnetizing the heads, which are the you've got 5 variations. Everything else is kind of standard. So body, which will go on the plinth. I am going to do something special with that base, I think, or semi-special at least. So we'll zoom out a bit. So big whole set of wings with a power pack. Those wings are huge. They're absolutely massive. Okay, that's about, I don't know, about 9 inches, 10 inches maybe across, huge. So yeah, so really good. So that's separate. The body, now I could have separated the arms, but I've chosen to do the body and the cape, you'll notice. Again, could have chosen to take it off, but it's super faff. I'm going to try and, this is going to be try and use kind of common sense and not not worry too much about areas which I'd like to be seen, so the back in particular, and that will be covered. If we look at the backpack, a lot of that will be covered by the wings anyway. Yeah, cool. So trying out some new common sense approaches, but body, that should be fairly easy to work on. Haven't decided yet, but I will probably stick a bit of sprue, maybe 2 bits of sprue up into the end of the body there. You can just see that it's hollow, obviously, just as something to control it with. Otherwise it means touching lots of the parts you've painted, and I'm expecting there to be a fair bit of dry brushing. So dry brushing, air brushing involved. There will be some dry brushing too. Right, so on to what I really want this video to be about, and that is about magnetising the heads. So you've got a big old hairpiece for Fulgrim. That's kind of going to be like whitey, bluey white hair. If you do it like box art, which most people do, and I'll do kind of something similar. So you'll see I've got a 3mm by 1mm magnet that I have drilled into place there. Now I've been using this drill bit here. That drill bit is about, I reckon it's probably dead on 3mm. So when you drill with it, anyone who knows anything about drilling, when you drill with a drill bit, it drills a larger hole than the bit itself, because it's obviously cutting away. Yep. So that allows you to then drop that magnet in, and it goes in nice and sweet. A bit of super quick, super cheap Bostik super glue, and then I sprayed it with some setting agent. Let's see if I can show you that quickly. Just an Amazon job. Nice picture on this. That is the where are we? Bandit super glue activator. It smells awful, works a treat. So there we go. So what this the headpiece comes in 4 pieces. So you've got the main part of the hair underneath, which you can kind of see just here. Then the kind of the over hair, or the bit that fits in the top. Sorry, I've got dog hairs in my hand. And then you have the 2 horny pieces. So I've glued those all together, and then drilled the hole for the magnet. Cool. So I'm going to show you and I will speed this up as it's going. I'm going to show you the heads. So heads I've dealt with already. Oh, there we go. One's clipped on. Look at that, by magic. So we have, again, let's see if we can get that in focus, and then zoom in a little bit for you. Okay, that's going to be a little bit pixelated. So we've got the, I suppose the Space Marine helmet variations. These are Demon Primark So this clips on happily there, nice and happy. Really cool with that, and that's really good. So, and then you've got the 4 variations upside down of head. So I've magnetised 4 of these. I'll just show you those as we go. Those will go into a little bag, and then I'll be very careful how to coat them. There we go, the open mouth, fang look there. What a crazy gentleman. And there we go. The next one, you can see this clip on. Everything's really happy. No stress on that at all. So let's just move that back out a touch. So we know that the system works. So the only thing I've kind of left for the video then is showing you how to then magnetise that last head. So again, let's see. I know it's going to be, quality might be a little bit degraded there. So on each of the heads, you've got a little kind of holy section. Now that ostensibly is supposed to go on to the body there. We've got the little spigot just here, doing a left hand demonstration there. And then you've got what's a raised dot in the centre. That raised dot is what you need to remove to then fit the magnet in. Okay, so what I've done to try and make that easier and to be more accurate is very carefully with a hobby knife just cut off a chunk of that so it's flat. And then with that 3mm drill, and it feels a little bit awkward, so you can try and kind of cup it in your fingers, and then get the drill bit in there as close to the centre as we can and drill away. Okay, now it's not, it's feel and common sense on this one really. And you have got a bit of wiggle room because as you go in, or as you put the magnet in, really what you're going to be doing is kind of flatten this air out. Excuse my Jack Russell barking in the background. He thinks it's tea time. He's forgotten he's eaten already. So I'm going to drill it out. It's going to be cool. So I'll get that in the middle. I'm going to come back to that in a second. I'll show you how that looks. See you in a sec. Okay, going to super high speed mode. You can see me drilling away. I did sneakily re-flatten that dot so I could get a proper centre, and you might want to do the same. It feels like you're going through to the front of the face, so just check regularly. You won't do, but it will get you there. There we go. Let's move on, shall we? Okay, cool. So there is the head, and let's get back in focus. And here is the headpiece, I should say. And there's the head with the hole drilled into it. Again, just do a quick little digital zoom there. You can see that's been bored out. Give it a little bit of a clean. Now, honestly, looking at that in the camera, that looks not as clean as it could be. So, craft knife again, just get rid of any crud in there. Just so you've got a nice clean space. Okay, in terms of the magnets, let's get these into view. Some 3 by 1mm magnets. I think these are, I want to say, what were they, Amazon specials, but I think they were called, I keep thinking Raw Earth because of Donald, Rare Earth magnets as a brand, so I'm not sure if you can get those still, but anyway, 3 by 1mm, pretty strong magnets. So we can just give that a bit of a try. You can see I've got loads, and that fits in there perfectly. So we'll carefully take one off. Let's just zoom out a little bit so it's easy to keep it short. So just gently take one off. You can see it's just in my fingernails there. We get that in focus, and we are going to let that flick onto the magnet on the headdress. There we go. See, it's on there now. A nice little trick that I picked up from somebody else and I've modified a little bit is to mark the side of the magnet, or one side of the magnet, the side that is non-magnetic to the polarity of the one you're attaching it to. So it's getting a bit of Aberdeen black. Just go on there, you can see it's on, let that dry. I don't even need to worry about letting it dry, just as long as I know which side is which. Cool, so that's straightforward. We're then going to place, this will be the slightly harder bit, a little bit of super glue into the head. Let's see whether this super glue's gummed up or whether it works for a start. God knows when I bought these, cheap as chips. I bet it's done the trick for quite a few projects. Oh, there we go, there's some there ready. Perfect, straight off, no worries. It's a warm day, so no doubt it's warmed up in the bottle and therefore expanded and popped right out. So this is the slightly tricky part. Just use your fingernail to move the magnet away, and you can see it's actually, can I get that in view? the black part is away, so just need to keep moving that. Oh, there we go, fall to my hand. That's right there, we can still see the side. All we need to know is that side with the polarity that's away from us. So that will go into the hull. So the silver side should be facing, should be facing us. Let's do that now. Excellent. Cool, there we go. And I'll just use a bit of sprue as that is not. At this point in the video, my Alexa decided to chip in and ask me to phone my mother-in-law. This would have surprised her and I both, as I don't often call her, and certainly not mid-modelling. So, not on this occasion. Thank you, Alexa. There, so we have a bit of sprue, non-magnetic, made of plastic, just to tamp down our magnet into the head. Right, now, because of the smell, even though it's a nice bright day, I'm just going to leave that to dry. So I'm going to test it yet. If I test that on the headpiece now, what would happen is that magnet would pop out and stick onto the other magnet, probably stick to it with the super glue, so we don't want that. So I'm going to leave that. The ones that have already been finished, I'm going to put him down there on the base. I'm going to put them away in a little bag for safekeeping. They will kind of stick together because of the magnets, so let's do that there. There we go, cool. And they can then just sit in a little baggie, ready to be either airbrushed or sprayed. I'll definitely spray the rest of the body with a spray can, just so it's easy to do basically, and it'll be quick fix. I have used the airbrush on models for, we've got quite a few small models and some larger ones. It does take a bizarrely long time, and although I use Vallejo undercoats on the airbrush, sometimes they don't always adhere as well as I'd like them to. So we'll hit this with a rattle can. I have absolutely stacks of rattle cans, so that's no biggie. And we should get a good even coverage. And then obviously any areas that need an extra spray or an extra coat can be washed with a white, and it will be white for this, because I will, even though it's a Primark, be using a fair few contrast paints just to get lots of luminosity. So what I've found, with the contrast paints, particularly the ones without lots of white pigment in them, if you've got white underneath, you get that lovely bounce as the light goes through the colour, hits the white undercoat and bounces back through, and it gives it a real sense of depth. So we'll give that a try. There'll be lots of other methods that are in there as well, and obviously looking forward to it. So, see you soon. Bye-bye.